Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Pour out. Rain heavily. Put on your raincoat, it's pouring outside. Move in large numbers. People were pouring out of the theater. Cause to run. Pour water over the floor. Flow in a spurt. Water poured all over the floor. Supply in large amounts or quantities. We poured money into the education of our children. Pour out. The sommelier decanted the wines. Pour out. Be disgorged. Express without restraint. Attack and bombard with or as if with missiles. Pelt the speaker with questions. The dressed hairy coat of a mammal. Rain heavily. Body covering of a living animal. Cast, hurl, or throw repeatedly with some missile. They pelted each other with snowballs. Rain heavily. Rain heavily. Something that resembles a flowing stream in moving continuously. A stream of people emptied from the terminal. A steady flow of a fluid, usually from natural causes. The raft floated downstream on the current. Rain heavily. Flow freely and abundantly. Tears streamed down her face. Dominant course, suggestive of running water, of successive events or ideas. Two streams of development run through American history. Move in large numbers. The act of flowing or streaming, continuous progression. A natural body of running water flowing on or under the earth. Exude profusely. She was streaming with sweat. To extend, wave or float outward, as if in the wind. Their manes streamed like stiff black pennants in the wind. Be teeming, be abuzz. Her mind pullulated with worries. Produce buds, branches, or germinate. Move in large numbers. Beggars pullulated in the plaza. Become abundant. Increase rapidly. Breed freely and abundantly. A group of many things in the air or on the ground. A swarm of insects obscured the light. A moving crowd. Be teeming, be abuzz. The garden was swarming with bees. Move in large numbers. Be teeming, be abuzz. The plaza is teeming with undercover policemen. Move in large numbers. Drink down entirely. Precipitate as rain. Anything happening rapidly or in quick successive. A rain of bullets. Drops of fresh water that fall as precipitation from clouds. Precipitate as rain. If it rains much more, we can expect some flooding. Water falling in drops from vapor condensed in the atmosphere. To gather together in large numbers. An informal body of friends. He still hangs out with the same crowd. To gather together in large numbers. Men in straw boaters and waxed mustaches crowded the veranda. Cause to herd, drive, or crowd together. Approach a certain age or speed. A large number of things or people considered together. A crowd of insects assembled around the flowers. Fill or occupy to the point of overflowing. The students crowded the auditorium. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. Take the place of or have precedence over. Terminate the employment of. Discharge from an office or position. Cause to move, usually with force or pressure. The refugees were displaced by the war. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Food for domestic livestock. Take in food. Used of animals only. Profit from in an exploitatory manner. He feeds on her insecurity. Give food to. Introduce continuously. Feed carrots into a food processor. Provide with fertilizers or add nutrients to. Move along, of liquids. The Missouri feeds into the Mississippi. Gratify. Feed one's eyes on a gorgeous view. Feed into. Supply. Her success feeds her vanity. Provide as food. Serve as food for. Be the food for. This dish feeds 6. Support or promote. General line of orientation. The river takes a southern course. Construction. A layer of masonry. A course of bricks. A connected series of events or actions or developments. The government took a firm course. As might be expected. A mode of action. If you persist in that course, you will surely fail. A body of students who are taught together. Education imparted in a series of lessons or meetings. He took a course in basket weaving. Move along, of liquids. A line or route along which something travels or moves. The course of the river. Facility consisting of a circumscribed area of land or water laid out for a sport. The course had only 9 holes. Hunt with hounds. He often courses hares. Move swiftly through or over. Part of a meal served at one time. She prepared a 3-course meal. Something that resembles a flowing stream in moving continuously. The museum had planned carefully for the flow of visitors. Fall or flow in a certain way. Her long black hair flowed down her back. The monthly discharge of blood from the uterus of non-pregnant women from puberty to menopause. The semen begins to appear in males and to be emitted at the same time of life that the catamenia begin to flow in females. Move or progress freely as if in a stream. The crowd flowed out of the stadium. The amount of fluid that flows in a given time. Dominant course, suggestive of running water, of successive events or ideas. The flow of thought. The motion characteristic of fluids, liquids or gases. Undergo menstruation. The act of flowing or streaming, continuous progression. Move along, of liquids. Water flowed into the cave. Any uninterrupted stream or discharge. Be abundantly present. The champagne flowed at the wedding. Cause to flow. The artist flowed the washes on the paper. Cover or swamp with water. A small stream. Have a particular form. The story or argument runs as follows. Perform as expected when applied. Does this old car still run well? Compete in a race. He is running the marathon this year. Become undone. A row of unraveled stitches. She got a run in her stocking. A score in baseball made by a runner touching all 4 bases safely. The Yankees scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Run, stand, or compete for an office or a position. Who's running for treasurer this year? Come unraveled or undone as if by snagging. Her nylons were running. Direct or control, projects, businesses, etc. She is running a relief operation in the Sudan. Extend or continue for a certain period of time. The film runs 5 hours. A race between candidates for elective office. He is raising money for a Senate run. Include as the content, broadcast or publicize. Pass over, across, or through. The act of testing something. Travel a route regularly. Carry out a process or program, as on a computer or a machine. Run a new program on the Mac. Flee. Take to one's heels, cut and run. If you see this man, run. Cause something to pass or lead somewhere. Have a tendency or disposition to do or be something, be inclined. These dresses run small. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. Service runs all the way to Cranberry. The act of running, traveling on foot at a fast pace. He broke into a run. Cause to emit recorded audio or video. Keep company. The heifers run with the bulls to produce offspring. Change or be different within limits. Interest rates run from 5 to 10%. Deal in illegally, such as arms or liquor. Continue to exist. A race run on foot. She broke the record for the half-mile run. An unbroken series of events. Nicholas had a run of birdies. Reduce or cause to be reduced from a solid to a liquid state, usually by heating. The pouring forth of a fluid. American football. A play in which a player attempts to carry the ball through or past the opposing team. The defensive line braced to stop the run. Be diffused. These dyes and colors are guaranteed not to run. Move along, of liquids. Progress by being changed. Run through your presentation before the meeting. Pursue for food or sport, as of wild animals. The dogs are running deer. An unbroken chronological sequence. The play had a long run on Broadway. A regular trip. The ship made its run in record time. A short trip. Take a run into town. Be affected by, be subjected to. Run at temperature. Be operating, running or functioning. The car is still running, turn it off. Carry out. Run an errand. Cause an animal to move fast. Run the dogs. Cause to perform. Run a subject. Change from one state to another. Run amok. Cover by running. Run a certain distance. Make without a miss. Move about freely and without restraint, or act as if running around in an uncontrolled way. Who are these people running around in the building? Move fast by using one's feet, with one foot off the ground at any given time. Don't run, you'll be out of breath. Occur persistently. Musical talent runs in the family. Run with the ball, in such sports as football. Sail before the wind. Set animals loose to graze. The continuous period of time during which something, a machine or a factory, operates or continues in operation. The assembly line was on a 12-hour run. The production achieved during a continuous period of operation, of a machine or factory, etc. A daily run of 100,000 gallons of paint. Travel rapidly, by any, unspecified, means. She always runs to Italy, because she has a lover there. Unrestricted freedom to use. He has the run of the house. Give something useful or necessary to. We provided the room with an electrical heater. Supply means of subsistence. Earn a living. He provides for his large family by working 3 jobs. Mount or put up. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The hostess provided lunch for all the guests. Make a possibility or provide opportunity for, permit to be attainable or cause to remain. This procedure provides for lots of leeway. Determine what is to happen in certain contingencies, especially by including a proviso condition or stipulation. The will provides that each child should receive half of the money. Take measures in preparation for. Provide for the proper care of the passengers on the cruise ship. Give something useful or necessary to. Provide or equip with furniture. We furnished the house in the Biedermeier style. Circulate or distribute or equip with. Supply blankets for the beds. Give something useful or necessary to. State or say further. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The activity of supplying or providing something. An amount of something available for use. Offering goods and services for sale. Give something useful or necessary to. Melt, fat or lard, in order to separate out impurities. Render fat in a casserole. Give an interpretation or rendition of. The pianist rendered the Beethoven sonata beautifully. Bestow. Render thanks. To surrender someone or something to another. Render up the prisoners. Give or supply. The estate renders some revenue for the family. Pass down. Render a verdict. Show in, or as in, a picture. The face of the child is rendered with much tenderness in this painting. Restate. Words, from one language into another language. She rendered the French poem into English. Give back. Render money. Make over as a return. They had to render the estate. A substance similar to stucco but exclusively applied to masonry walls. Cause to become. The shot rendered her immobile. Coat with plastic or cement. Render the brick walls in the den. Pour as if from a sluice. Conduit that carries a rapid flow of water controlled by a sluice gate. Irrigate with water from a sluice. Sluice the earth. Pour as if from a sluice. An aggressive tide sluiced across the barrier reef. Draw through a sluice. Sluice water. Transport in or send down a sluice. Sluice logs. Paper used for writing or printing. A large piece of fabric, usually canvas fabric, by means of which wind is used to propel a sailing vessel. Bed linen consisting of a large rectangular piece of cotton or linen cloth, used in pairs. Nautical. A line, rope or chain, that regulates the angle at which a sail is set in relation to the wind. A flat artifact that is thin relative to its length and width. Mathematics. An unbounded two-dimensional shape. Newspaper with half-size pages. Any broad thin expanse or surface. A sheet of ice. Come down as if in sheets. The rain was sheeting down during the monsoon. Cover with a sheet, as if by wrapping. Sheet the body. Be disgorged. Overflow with a certain feeling. Be disgorged. A shape that is spherical and small. He studied the shapes of low-viscosity drops. Remove, cargo, people, etc., from and leave. Drop off the passengers at the hotel. Grow worse. Fall or descend to a lower place or level. A sudden sharp decrease in some quantity. A drop of 57 points on the Dow Jones Index. A free and rapid descent by the force of gravity. It was a miracle that he survived the drop from that height. Let or cause to fall in drops. Stop associating with. They dropped her after she had a child out of wedlock. Pay out. A small indefinite quantity, especially of a liquid. He had a drop too much to drink. Get rid of. Cause to fall by or as if by delivering a blow. Hang freely. The light dropped from the ceiling. A steep high face of rock. A steep drop. Stop pursuing or acting. Drop a lawsuit. Leave undone or leave out. A curtain that can be lowered and raised onto a stage from the flies, often used as background scenery. Lower the pitch of musical notes. A central depository where things can be left or picked up. A predetermined hiding place for the deposit and distribution of illicit goods, such as drugs or stolen property. Change from one level to another. She dropped into army jargon. Fall or sink into a state of exhaustion or death. Shop till you drop. Give birth. Used for animals. The cow dropped her calf this morning. Go down in value. Stock prices dropped. Let fall to the ground. Don't drop the dishes. Lose a game. The Giants dropped 11 of their first 13. Omit a letter or syllable in speaking or writing. New Englanders drop their post-vocalic R's. Take a drug, especially LSD, by mouth. She dropped acid when she was a teenager. Terminate an association with. Drop him from the Republican ticket. The act of dropping something. They expected the drop would be successful. To fall vertically. The bombs are dropping on enemy targets. Utter with seeming casualness. Drop a hint.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.